And hello everybody. So today we're going to have our second video on the geography of the Middle East and talking about other different areas that are really interesting, and it's not all desert, okay? And so to see some interesting areas and stuff that's going on. And so there are river systems in this area, and of course the most notable is the Nile River, which is the longest river in the world, 4,130 miles. Of course it does start way up here in Uganda, and then part of it over here in Ethiopia. But the part that we're worried about is more what's happening through the Sudan and Egypt, okay? It is a unique river because it flows south to north. It does have these two major tributaries, as I showed you before. And the river was really the foundation of most ancient civilizations. But the key thing that you have to see here is like you see how much the desert can come right up to the river. But here you have the Nile Delta, and all throughout here, as you know, this stripe of green through the desert. It is incredibly fertile. The loess and the fertile soil that is brought from up here through rains and all through here, and it travels these nutrients, and when it starts to get down to Egypt, every year it will flood and leave this incredibly fertile dirt to, you know, there's more scientific words for it, that you can grow tons of things. For instance, in ancient Rome, their entire empire revolved around grain that they got from Egypt. I mean, this is wonderful things that you can farm here. The river's full of nutrients. You have incredible amounts of animal life and fish, which is really important for protein. And it's remarkable. And you can see here are some cataracts in some of the lower parts of the Nile where it's not necessarily as huge. And over here, these waterfalls that you see periodically as well. You got some nutrients, you get some big fish, okay? These are all fish that were captured in the Nile. Like, I mean, come on, that's like a 6-foot tall fish, man. That's crazy. You do have to be careful, though. I mean, the most dangerous animal in all of Africa is the hippo. They're very, very territorial. They can swim incredibly fast. They are all throughout the Nile, and they will mess you. Look at the teeth. And then you have crazy crocodiles, the Nile crocodiles. Like, just look at its leg. This crocodile in particular was terrorizing a village. Like, so you do have to be careful in the river. I do have to say that. Now, the Nile isn't the only river system. The other most known river system here is the Tigris and the Euphrates, which goes through Iraq and Syria and Turkey. And then you have the Marat and the Karasu River as well, which gets all the way, you know, Marat almost all the way over here into Armenia. These are crucial rivers. This is the foundation of world civilizations. When we look at some of the world's oldest cities, I mean, some of them we see over here in the Middle East and up here, but this Mesopotamia, the land between the rivers, the Fertile Crescent, was absolutely huge. And again, when you look at an area that is pretty barren, these rivers are crucial, okay, as they go through these relatively barren areas. But then down here you see this little village. This is in the delta of the Euphrates River. So look at all of the area that you can grow things and the greenery. Super, super important. So we do have water sources in these areas that are important, and the rivers are crucial and really the foundation to the civilizations and some of the first civilizations in the entire world. Then you also have other areas like that are really beautiful, like Socotra Island in Yemen, okay, right off the coast of Yemen, this beautiful island. You can see all the palm trees and stuff like that. And they have a really cool tree here, the dragon blood tree, where the sap is actually red, as you see. I just think that's cool. Some people get freaked out at it, but, you know, hey. Another area you can visit is the Jaita Grotto, which are these underground caves that have been carved out by water. But the cave itself isn't flooded, so you can see these beautiful rock formations and stuff like that as you go through the little river that goes through it. Like, absolutely beautiful. You also have mountains in these areas. You have the Atlas Mountains and the Elburz Mountains. They're not really, really high mountains, but they are significant, and we do see mountain ranges in these areas. Not a lot of people live in them, though. Yes, this is technically part of a desert, but also in the mountain ranges in Iran, you have this area called the Kaluts, which are these just wonderful rock structures that have been eroded over time. On the left here, this looks like an ancient palace or something, but that's actually just wind erosion. That's done all of this. Just really, really beautiful. I would love an opportunity to go check some of that out. And in our country, in the United States, you can go check that out in like Utah. But really, really impressive. Another defining factor of the Middle East is the Dead Sea, which is right between Israel and Jordan, known because, one, it's the lowest spot on the planet below sea level. So there's that. And two, it's this crazy salty lake with this crystal clear water. And as you can see, it's so salty, you can just like sit up and hang, read a newspaper. It's also famous for its mud, which is a wonderful exfoliant. You can actually buy Dead Sea mud products in a variety of different places. It's supposed to be fantastic for your skin. So again, another really like unique area here. And just to finish up, there's also areas where you can go in the Mediterranean, in the Middle East here. It's a really important area, and Hurghada, Egypt, is a wonderful resort area that you can go to, and you can go to places that go to coral reefs and scuba and snorkel. And so we have a lot of these different areas in the Middle East. Okay, so yeah, you got a lot of desert and areas like that, but we also have these little pops of green and rivers and stuff like that are also really prevalent as well. Okay, so hopefully that gives you, a little bit of a, again, this is just like an intro, give you a little idea of some of the things that are around in the Middle East, and hope you learned a little something. All right, take care.